That's what the great ones do. That's what they do. On any given night, he's capable of doing what he did yesterday. On any given night. And he was awesome in this series. You want to talk about fourth quarter points? Steph Curry was clutch in this series.
What did he average?
I
thought you had the number.
No, I got it. No, he had more
Apologies.
points. He had more points than Fox. That's for sure. So I'll pull it up there. He had over 200 points in this series. I mean, the records that are just falling.
Here's what I would say about Andrew Wiggins. He played really good defense. I thought they contested shots really well in that second half, as well as Klay Thompson. And they hit big, timely buckets. Klay wasn't great in the first half, but the way that he came out in that third quarter, and he did the same thing in Game 5, he hit big half-court shots at desperate times for this team. And to me, the biggest play of the night was to end the third quarter after the Malik Monk and one. Yeah. He hit that huge three, and that was a brilliant play by Draymond, Steph, and Klay. And then he sinks the free throw at a time when it felt like they couldn't hit free throw.
Well, you go from leading by 6 and possibly give the Sacramento Kings life, and you go up 10 going into the fourth quarter, double-digit lead there. So,
and then they're interviewing Mike Brown at the break, and they're like, "Oh, you're up 12." I'm like, "Is there a problem with the score? What happened there?"
No, I don't.
They kept talking 12. You're up 12, and we were only up 10.
No, I don't know. The things you remember, Shasky. I didn't remember that.
Well, I thought the score was off because they kept saying, and then 10, they do like the after quarter interview or whatever.
Yeah. All right, well, you are listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ, FM, and HD1 San Francisco, always live on the free
Even on second viewing, I was like, what's going on?
The Odyssey app and favorite 95.7 The Game for the best and most up-to-date sports coverage. All right, let's bring in Bob Myers. It's been a while since we talked to Bob, man, the president of basketball operations and GM of the Golden State Warriors. And Bob was up there in Sacramento, and I'm sure he could hear it this morning because the cowbells weren't ringing as loud yesterday in game number 7. Bob, good morning. What a win. And look, I know we don't have a lot of time with you today, but we have to start with number 30, Stephen Curry. I mean, Steph Curry, I thought last year Game 4 against Boston was, okay, that's the one. That's the one. But to see what he did, to become the first player to ever drop 50 in a Game 7, you kind of run out of superlatives to describe this young man. Steph Curry does it at 35 years old. 35 years old to drop 50 in a Game 7. Unbelievable.
Yeah, man, but before we're going to talk all about Curry. I'm not going to. Don't worry, I'm going to get to that. But somebody bought my family dinner last night, and I didn't get to thank. I tried to thank a guy. It wasn't a cheap dinner. So somebody that's listening, tell him I said thank you. I asked the waiter. I said, "What'd that guy do that for?" He said the Warriors made his day. And sometimes you forget. I forget because it's my job that when we win, how happy it makes people. So that makes me feel good. Because if I'm being honest, guys, happy isn't the right word to describe how I feel. It's relief. It's fulfillment. It's not happy. I wish it was.
Bob, can I ask you about Friday night then? Because me and B were devastated, frustrated, angry, and then I got to go through all day Saturday, and then the anxiety of Sunday. I mean, I can't even imagine what's it like with you and your family after you lose Game 6, and you got all this time in between until Game 7, and you're out there having dinner with them. Like the dynamic of the family aspect, that's got to be difficult to navigate.
Yeah, man, we could spend a lot of time. I mean, you guys got, family. I got 3 daughters. The best thing about my household, honestly, and I know you guys grew up, I did too, in a big sports household. That's how I grew up. Older brother, my dad was big into sports. My house isn't like that. And you'd think it would be, but it's good for me because my job is just thinking that the world revolves around the Warriors. And that's what happens when you go into the building, and that's all the people I associate with. So when I go home, my kids, my 4-year-old got on Bluey, and my 12-year-old wants to watch something. It's good though because I need that. You know, if they were telling me you need to prove the bench, Dad, I think I'd fall apart. I don't think I'd make it if I walked home and my wife was like, "What are you guys doing? What kind of effort was that? You guys going to make a shot?" So I don't have any of that at home. It works for me, but you do take the job home with you guys. I'm sure you take your jobs home with you. I wish I wouldn't as much. But last night we were driving back. My wife brought my 4-year-old to the game. And a funny story about the cowbells. It was like the second quarter, and she goes, "Daddy, I want a cowbell." I said, my wife's like, we can't give her a cowbell. I go, no. I go, her name's Rosie. I said, "Rosie, no cowbell. I said, if we win the game, I'll get you a cowbell. So Eric Housen, after the game, our equipment guy, basically the fixer and handles everything. He houses it. I go, man, can you give me a cowbell?
Oh my God.
He goes, what do you want a cowbell for? I said, my daughter, man, she wants a cowbell. Oh, so the whole ride home from Sacramento kind of ringing it. But it was, anyways, we can talk about Curry. Let's talk about Curry.
No, seriously. Bob, it's kind of funny because I took my daughter to the zoo Saturday to kind of get away from everything, and she has no idea what's going on. She just wants to see giraffes and zebras and ride on a choo-choo train, and that was therapeutic for me. So I woke up Sunday, it was like, you know what? It's going to be all good. We got a Game 7. This is what sports is about, and the Warriors have Stephen Curry. And boy, did he step up in just a moment. I mean, in the second half alone, he goes 12 of 23 for 30 points. The second half alone. Now, we'll get to Looney. We'll get to Klay Thompson's defense and Wiggins' defense and the bench and all that stuff. But Steph Curry, when you think about all the performances that you've seen, because you've seen all of them, I guess it's tough to rank it. But in terms of impactful in the moment, where do you place that at? I mean, it's unbelievable what he did yesterday.
Well, I'll say this. You guys won't believe me, but I read Marcus Thompson's article on what Curry did on Saturday when he spoke to the team.
Yep.
If you could ask me, you can go back in time and choose to watch the 50-point game or his 2-minute speech. I would have chosen the speech. He never does that. He just doesn't speak to the team like that, and I just wish I had seen it. And I texted him last night. I said, man, when you talk to the team, please, he knew I was joking, and I was thinking, I had no idea he was going to do that, and I guess it was just the players. He texted me back and said it was just the players. I would have loved to have seen that. And the 50 points was
right.
I don't even know what to say
it's
about it.
Never been done in Game 7, Bob.
I don't. What do I say that you guys didn't say? I suppose what I felt was happiness for one of the good ones. We adore athletes that aren't great people. We do it all the time. We can't help it. And we root for people that maybe aren't decent human beings, whether it's celebrities or athletes. But his character and his talent make it so easy to support someone like that and to wish well things for them. And so I'm just lucky. I get to know him and see him and watch one of the best players that's ever played do it at that stage. I mean, I love basketball like you guys. I try to watch those games and think about how lucky I am to see him live for as long as I have perform like that. Because the people that are listening to watch him, I mean, that's why people go to the games. It's to see greatness. And it's just, I don't know what to say. We're lucky to have him in the organization.
So he's never given a speech like that before?
Super rare. I mean, if it went down the way it did, and I'm going to ask Draymond, because the story said that Draymond said, I'm going to talk to the team.
And that was funny.
Steph said, I got this one.
Hey, Bob, sit back and read that line where it's like, Draymond's like, yo, I got the speech. And
I laughed.
we know what's going to come with that speech. And Steph's like, no, Dre, let me handle this one. You spoke enough. It was hilarious to see that. And then Steph doing that said, hey, if you want to get on that team bus, let's check our egos.
Yeah.
I mean, that was special.
I mean, I love that line. Like, if you're going to get on the bus, you're getting on the bus with the right attitude. Or don't get on the bus. I just wish. No, he talks to the team, but not in that kind of. I don't know how long it went. He'll say things. He'll pipe in, but it isn't like this floor is yours, Steph. And that's like you guys said. That's usually Draymond, and he's tremendous at it. And I think Curry appreciates that. I think Curry maybe was Lot from Montana. I don't know, but for Steph to say what he said, I promise you, that room, you could hear a pin drop if he said, stood up in front of the team, which he did. I just wish I'd seen it. But anyways, I got to see the 50 points like the rest of the world, and that's a hell of a consolation prize. He was unbelievable, and we needed it. I mean, you guys play sports. It's when you have someone like that on your team, it just makes you believe more. That's the strength of those kind of quarterback guys, those point guards, those great players. They make you believe you're better than you are. And he put the team on his back as much as you can use that phrase. If you ever could, it was yesterday with him, and it was loud. I mean, I guess you guys weren't. It was the loudest game of the four, and those Kings fans
really
were tremendous, man. Our fans are tremendous, but I got to give credit to those Kings fans. that organization, what Mike Brown did, those players, they're coming. They are coming, and that was a worthy foe. Yeah. They're going to be better because of that series, and even playing against Curry like that. So, just a great basketball series, just high level. There was a year, guys, where we won the Western Conference Finals. Okay, when we had Durant, and we were going to the finals, and the locker room celebration was like, "Hey, guys." Like, nothing.
Right.
Like, we were going to the final. And I remember looking at somebody else, like, we're going to the finals. Like, no big deal. We celebrated. I mean, there was a joy last night or yesterday afternoon that we savored because that was hard. That was a tough series for everybody.
I thought Kevon Looney was spectacular in the entire series, and he's been such a great player for this team for a couple of years now. And just to see where he's come, into the league, and he didn't play that first year. He had all those hip injuries, how he's evolved his game, and he's snatching the soul out of the opponent with every offensive rebound, with every rotation, with every little putback, and his ability to facilitate on that pick and roll. He's just... I mean, I know the box score speaks to itself, but he's so much more than that. I mean, 15 defensive rebounds, 22 overall, 7 assists. He was awesome in this whole series, and I feel like Kevon Looney finally getting his just due for the country to see. That, to me, was awesome because I love everything about Loon.
He's unbelievable. There's a great kid story. You guys have heard it, the tortoise and the hare. Looney's the tortoise. Like, he just keeps plodding along and getting better and better. Everybody else stops, starts, goes backwards. Every year, every game, it's kind of like this slow growth that continues, and then you wake up and it's 20 rebounds and 20 rebounds. Yeah. He is a huge part of us, and this is a guy that we drafted. He was injured. We didn't pick up his option. Thank goodness we got him back. Underappreciated because he's surrounded by megastars. But to finally see him get his due for such a decent guy, just a decent team player, he has to be, and I think he is now, appreciated by the fan base in a deserved way.
No doubt.
Because of the effort, right? Everybody loves effort. Everybody loves humility. And he doesn't, his mannerisms, how measured he is. You don't see him complain too much. To not hear his name referenced as much as a lot of his teammates, to feel no envy for any of that, and to finally be on the big stage and relied upon so much. It's such a good story. It's such a good story for perseverance, for working through. And again, he's helping us win. I mean, I don't need to say, you guys are watching the same thing I'm watching.
Right. No, I mean, Kevon Looney, 3 games in this series, he had 20-plus rebounds. I mean, that's a short list. Warriors with 3 or more 20-rebound games in a single playoff series. Wilt Chamberlain 5 times, Nate Thurman 4 times. Now you got Kevon Looney 3 times. I mean, Moral Compass, the 13 offensive rebounds in the third quarter. And one of our callers, one of our mini roasters, they love Looney so much, Slut Rock. His name is Slut Rock, Bob. And he said, I'm going to nickname him Windex because all he does is clean up the glass. So I shot that to Looney Friday before the game. It's like, yo, what do you think about this? He goes, oh, I love it. I love it there. So we're calling him Windex from here on out because all he does is clean up the glass. But I want to speak about Andrew Wiggins here. Andrew Wiggins, he misses the time for personal reasons. You guys respected it. I think nobody really spoke about it. We just hope that he was okay mentally. He's come back in this playoff series, and he's picked up where he left off last postseason when he had that incredible NBA final, the incredible Western Conference Finals. And you look up, and sure, he missed some layups yesterday, but he attacked the glass, 7 rebounds, 17 points. And to come back after missing all that time off and jump into this series against that team against Sacramento and pick up where he left off is just incredible. I think Andrew Wiggins' story, he was flying under the radar in this series.
I mean, he does all. Wiggins' effort, playing huge minutes, guarding usually what is the other team's best player, is not easy. And the shot making will come, I think. He missed the game. He missed 2 months. His legs probably are still coming back, and guarding Fox, guarding Monk, two real tough covers. It's tiring. You see it with the free throws. He made his first 6 and his next 4, and he's going to get his 3-point shot going again. Some of that's his legs, like you said. But another big reason why, obviously, we won it last year and are making it to the second round now is Wiggins. It's just, the best thing about his story to me is nobody's talking about him like they used. People used to say, "Oh, he's got an awful contract and he can't win with Wiggins," and even he had to earn the respect of the Bay Area fans, and he did, it. They don't just give it up here. I mean, there's a high expectation for players that have been through the last 10 years, and to see Wiggins embraced by our fans, by our fan base, by his teammates, by the coaching staff, to become kind of one of us in some ways. Good for him. Good for him. Good for his career, because he bounced. He had 4, 5, 6 different coaches. I don't know how many in Minnesota. The weight of being a number one pick. I think he's found a home, and it works for him. He had this label. He had to be this number one guy. I think some of the things he said about Curry. I mean, the nice thing about the team, and you guys have been on teams, is everybody loved seeing Steph do what he did. The whole team loved it. There was no anybody saying, "I should have shot more shots," or "Why does Curry get all the praise?" There's a huge level of support for him because of him. And so Wiggins is just another big part of it.
Bob, I do want to ask you, you spoke about the ride home. You spoke about the locker room celebration after beating the Kings in 7 games. We talked about Steph Curry's speech before the film session Saturday afternoon. But I want to know about the drive up. What was going through their minds? Because, there's so many unknowns happening with you guys or whatnot, and we're not going to get into contracts and who's going to stay or whatnot. But what was that drive up to Sacramento like, getting ready for this Game 7? This was different. A 0-2 deficit. No home court advantage. We know about the road record in the regular season. Now you got to win 2 straight at the Golden One Center. I want to know what the drive up to Sacramento was like. What was going through your head as you got ready for Game 7?
Well, the team took the bus, Monte, and I drove up. What was it, Saturday with Dunleavy? My drive up was sweating it out like you guys. Like, what if we lose this game? What are we going to do? And worried about all that stuff. But I can tell you from what I heard about the bus and the players, this is a team with a lot of pride. And we got our you-know-what kid. I don't know what you're allowed to say on the radio, but you can fill in the blank on Friday. And that doesn't happen too often to our players at home and our coaches. And I told Dunleavy when I was leaving the game Friday, as bad as it was, I said, if we were going to lose, this is how I want us to lose. And he's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "No, this is how you want to lose." I said, if we had burned Curry 45 minutes, loses the buzzer, I think that would have been worse. As much as I think people were worried that we got blown out, that we couldn't kind of come back and win, I thought if we were going to come back, it would be better. Not that I want to get blown out. I think you guys know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There's a sting to the blowouts. There's a sting to even Steph and Draymond saying they couldn't sleep. You guys are competitive. You know those times in your life where you get people listening, you get beat bad. You're going to show up with something a little bit more the next time you face whoever it is, whether it's a rival in your high school tournament or college or whatever it is. You get blown out and you're a competitor, that's going to live in you. And if you're one of the people that hates to lose, you're not going to sleep. And you can't wait for that game. And I think there was a lot of that going on, Monte.
Yeah. Boy, there's a million questions about the ride up with you and Dunleavy. Are you guys talking? What music? We'll get to that.
Dunleavy's cool. I think he picked the perfect partner to ride shotgun with, because Dunleavy is calm, cool, and collected. Yeah. And you probably needed somebody like him on the drive up I-80.
You'd be happy I wasn't in that car.
He was great.
Bob, let me share a story. Go ahead, Bob.
Bob, but as we transition from one series to the next.
No, you're good. I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, no, I was going to let you finish it because I was going to say Shasky Sunday morning. I woke up at about 6:30 a.m. And Shasky was up since 4 in the morning talking about, I clean the entire house.
Anxiety.
I have anxiety.
Horrible.
And for some reason, to me, I felt, okay, I think the Warriors may have this. Shasky's losing his mind, which means that's a good thing for you guys.
I mean, driving up with Shasky would have been tough, I think. I think it would have been hard. I do some of that, though. I vacuum. I like to vacuum.
See?
I'm a little stressed out.
Yeah.
But I feel like you probably go a little harder than I do on the clean.
Yeah.
Guru and Shasky on the way up. Pick your poison.
Mike played in the NBA 15 years. His dad, he was born into the NBA with his dad coaching. So it's nice to have people to talk to that have been around, played in games. But we're human beings. We work hard. We thought we built a good roster. You want to win. And but no, I mean, look, he said one thing that resonated. We were driving up, and he said, "Well, I'll tell you what. I said, what? He goes, still got the best player in the series. And that sounds simple,
Yeah.
but that matters.
Yeah.
You guys look at who wins series. It's the best player is a huge part of it.
Yeah, no doubt. Bob, as we reflect from the series we just had and we look a little forward to Lakers LeBron, we'll get to that part of it because I know it's personal for you on a variety of levels. Like these role guys, DiVincenzo, GP2, Jordan Poole, Moody, I thought stepping up and giving you great minutes over the last couple. You go from like one matchup where some guys are going to play more, some aren't. Maybe it just doesn't fit. You're not playing well to getting them ready. And not that it resets, but you're trying to try out different things for this next series. How do you get all those role players and figure out who's going to have their number called early on in this series against the Lakers?
It changes. I think after the game last night in the locker room, Iguodala said, for those of you that weren't playing, don't think it's going to stay that way. It's a new series. Steve has said many times, it's a brand new thing. I mean, we've had in the past guys where JaVale McGee would play in a series and then Zaza would play, and obviously Bogut got taken out. I mean, you guys know, you've watched this. Certain players play better. There's series that changes from game to game. Moody wasn't really getting time early on. He got time late. So Steve will kind of clean slate it. And the Lakers are almost the inverse of the Kings as far as style of play, as far as what they do, different pace, different speed, big size team, great defensive team. So it's kind of flipping things on their head. So it'll take a while, maybe for both coaches to figure out how to game plan, but that's what makes it fun. But as far as the roster, I mean, look, no roster's perfect. Ours isn't, nobody's is. So you got to figure out what's the best way, especially coming off the bench, what matchups work the best, what combinations. But that's what gives you guys hours and hours of time on the radio
Right.
to say, you should play this guy, that guy. Everybody listening, you guys do. We're human beings. I mean, whether it's my mistakes with the roster, whether Steve should have done this or that, I guess rest assured, the care factor is huge. We care more than anybody can imagine. Probably too much, to be honest. And so it doesn't mean we're not trying. We don't get it right, but I do love the passion of you guys, of our fans, of all the people that have supported us. It's just so great to keep this thing going, and it's going to be a fun series. I mean, it's just
the Lakers.
Kerr after the game, Kerr after the game in the locker room. No, Kerr after the game goes, "All right, guys, great job." Blah blah blah, and then he goes, "Hey, what do we got? What do we play?" And somebody goes, "Tuesday." He goes, "Tuesday." Kerr goes, "Tuesday," and so it all comes fast. It all comes fast. So it's gonna be fun.
Today's got to be game plan day for the LA Lakers all day long. Tomorrow night, Tuesday, game 1 at Chase Center at 7 p.m. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Lakers, first time the Warriors and Lakers have met up in the postseason since 1991. So you get Sacramento out the way, the I-80 Classic. That had never happened before. And now you get LeBron in the L.A. Laker uniform against you guys, man. This is great. This is great.
Storybook.
I know. How many times is this LeBron? How many have we gone against him?
This is
already?
the 5th time now. 4 times in the finals, and now once, second round matchup, which feels like a Western Conference final.
Oh, this could be great.
Man, it's great players find a way to play each other, I guess. Curry and LeBron, they figure it out. They're going to meet great talent, great competitors. So it's going to be pretty fun. I'm excited.
And we owe him one for the play-in game, the 3-rim thing. I mean, God,
the play-in.
We owe him one.
I don't even count that as a playout game.
I don't care. No, I'm still
you count
pissed.
that as a playout game? I don't even.
I'm
we
still
always
pissed.
talk about the record in the postseason at Chase Center. And Festus asked me, he goes, "You're not going to count the play-in game?" I said, "No chance."
Well, I mean, look, I was there. I would hurt. He hit a big shot.
Yeah.
That was a right wing. Again, I know you guys joke around this and that, but I know you guys are real fans, and seeing this guy's the all-time leading scorer ever. To get to see him in a playoff series, I never thought we'd see him again. I just didn't think we'd play against him again. Sure, we want to win, but at the same time, seeing him and Curry battle is it's all time. It's going to be unbelievable.
Yep, no doubt. Steph Curry, the second player at age 35 or older to score 200 points in a playoff series, joining Michael Jordan, who did it in 1998 in both the conference finals and NBA finals. What a performance for Steph. What a win by you guys, Bob. We'll see you tomorrow night at Chase Center. Thank you so much for the time.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but we always love talking
buddy.
to you. We always listen when you're on with Steiny and Guru. So tell the kids we said hi, and she can hopefully put away the cowbell today and just park that thing. Maybe just throw it away. She won't. You know how 4-year-olds are. They forget where toys are all the time.
No, it's going in the garage.
You
All
have
right,
a garage
guys.
in the city? Wow, you're one of the
Oh,
few.
yeah.
All right, Bob.
It's full. All right, guys, take it easy.
See you, buddy.
Later on, Bob Myers, president of basketball operations and GM of the Golden State
God,
Warriors.
he's
A
the
lot
best.
there. The